Speaker Shepherd, President Hendren, Mr. Chief Justice, and honored members of the General Assembly. This is truly an occasion to celebrate. You are celebrating, we are celebrating, it's exciting. But it is also a time to reflect and to set a determined course for the future. As part of the celebration, I have my family here today. My wife, Susan, my son, Asa III, Sarah and Dave, my daughter and son-in-law, John Paul and Nubia, my son, and there they are, and then young Seth and Julia. Thank you for being here and a part of this. And then I have 4 grandchildren here today, Elabeth, Malcolm, Isabella, and John Pablo. Maybe John Pablo took a leave of absence because he's young. But it is a certain privilege, a special privilege to have my family here who have been along this journey with me, and it's important for them to share in this important occasion. As we convene today to begin a new term in office, we can rejoice that the election is over. The seasons have changed, and we are now entering the winter of hard work. As we do so, we are reminded that the true purpose of political victory is service. A simple but profound phrase: we serve the public. Not a party, not personal interest, we serve the public. Some of you may not be aware. You've been in my office, but maybe you have come directly to visit with me. But if you go in the door of my office and you look left, you will see a box. It is a shoe shine kit. And it is in my office, and it says, there's a plaque on there that says, "This is to remind you of your youth in Gravette." Because it was in Gravette that I shined shoes at Johnny's Barber Shop as my first job. I shined shoes for 25 cents on shoes and 50 cents for boots because they were muddy. I have that in my office because it reminds me of my roots, and it reminds me of the dignity of work. And so, members of the General Assembly, during the session, come on by the governor's office and get your shoes shined. Now, as we consider the upcoming session, we also realize very quickly that there is nothing that we can do alone. It takes all of us working together for the people of Arkansas. And if we toil well and together, then this spring we will be able to see the first fruits of our labor. And in due time, we will enjoy the full harvest when good policy strengthens public confidence, and when good policy builds hope, and when good policy serves the cause of justice. Today, as is our custom, but it is very important, we began this new leadership with a prayer service at the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. And justice was one of the themes of that ceremony. Later, we'll go out to the public inaugural ceremony, and we will have our poet laureate, Joe McDougall, read a poem that I commissioned on the theme of hope in Arkansas. And I believe that we will all agree today that Arkansas is an amazing place to live, raise a family, and build our own special future. It hasn't always been easy. Arkansans have had our share of challenge and difficulty. The most challenging time was during the Great Depression. During that time, we were poor, but you know, we did not lose population. Our population did not decline. People stayed here because poverty was all over the nation. That was the 1930s. But when the economy boomed again after the war, the jobs out of state offered better pay. Between 1940 and 1960, over 150,000 people left our state. Some of our best left for Michigan, California, and Chicago. And now the trend is reversed. People are moving to Arkansas from California, Michigan, and Illinois, and we are retaining our homegrown talent. Our population is now over 3 million people and growing every day. The lesson is that if people follow opportunity and pursue quality of life, they're going to come to Arkansas. We have it all here. That is why we work hard to be competitive in our tax rates, to compete for industry and businesses located in this state, to build a technology sector, to expand tourism, and to improve access to the arts and to education. As evidence of these new opportunities, we have moved more than 65,000 Arkansans over the last 4 years out of poverty and into work. They have jobs and they're making more money. And fewer Arkansans are on Medicaid, and fewer are having to rely upon the important safety net of SNAP and other benefits. It's because they have more opportunity. And we have proven that we can lead in entrepreneurship, agriculture, global retail trade, and technology education. Before we forge into the future today, it is important to note what we have accomplished together. Together, we have reformed our child welfare system. 3 years ago, you approved $24 million additional funding for our child welfare programs, and the result is a 30% increase in foster beds. The result is 22% increase in caseworkers. The result is nearly 1,000 fewer children in foster care. We initiated the Restore Hope Summit, where our faith-based leaders and government partners figured out ways to work together. Thank you for making a difference for our children. Together, we have reformed our criminal justice system, and the result is that the growth of our prison population has been reduced. 4 years ago, we were growing at the rate of 3% per year in our prison population. The growth rate has been reduced to 1% per year. We have invested more in reentry centers to give people a second chance in life. More than 1,200 inmates have graduated through our reentry facilities, and this results in a lower incarceration rate, more people working, and a reduced burden on our taxpayers. We want to give people a second chance in life after they have paid the penalty for any wrongdoing. And I am proud of our employers who give them a chance. One illustration is Stephen Edwards. He's an example of a person who got a second chance and is succeeding. Stephen was convicted of first-degree murder at the age of 16. He spent nearly 20 years in prison. During that time, he got his GED, he earned a diploma from Ozarka College, he earned a bachelor's degree through correspondence from Ohio University. Stephen became the first inmate in our correction system to accomplish those educational goals while incarcerated. The parole board gave Stephen a second chance and reduced his sentence. He moved to Marion, where his first job out of prison was at an eye care clinic. A patient heard his story and hired him to teach GED classes at the Juvenile Center in West Memphis. Then he started a lawn care company with 2 push mowers from Walmart. Now he has 80 clients, owns his own home, pays taxes, and tells his story at teen summits. Stephen Edwards got a second chance. We need to give everyone who's willing to change and contribute that second chance in life. 4 years ago, we had a scholarship lottery that was declining each year in the amount of scholarships for our students. We transformed the lottery from an independent agency into part of the Department of Finance. The result is that we have cut the administrative costs, and the lottery student scholarships have grown by 26%. They have increased from $72 million in 2015 to over $91 million this last year. That's effective government work that we do together.